Hey guys, how is it going? Welcome back. It's been a while since I've recorded Impact, but I'm looking forward to getting back into it. Hopefully, I'm going to get a couple of these maybe block recorded. Well, this and Bound for Glory, and then in the comments between this one and that one, let me know a couple things you want to see in the final, the sort of end of pay-per-view booking plan episode where I'll talk in depth about the save and what's going on and who we're bringing in and who we've got plans for. I think this is a good episode of Impact. I don't think it's going to be amazing because it's our go-home show, and it's a decent card. Like, it should get people to tune in, hypothetically, to Bound for Glory. But we'll just get into it. 16 segments, 116 minutes. Let's hop in. So jump in again. Show intro. Josh Matthews and Don Callis, not Josh Alexander. Intro, the show tonight. They talk about our big feuds: Moose, Edwards, EC3, and Rich Swann, Eric Young. 35 rated segment, not bad. Does get better when Josh Matthews is in there, unsurprisingly. But, just needs to be lessons to keep actually checking who's in my segments. Then, since last week, of course, I forgot about our X Division Championship feud. We have tonight a 6-man tag: Rascals, who are, of course, WWE bound, or at least Desmond Wentz are, and against Johnny Swinger and Chris Bay, with a mystery opponent, who we will find out later on in this episode of Impact who that will be. 31, not a bad segment. Then we have Sami Callihan versus Glenn Gilberti. Sami Callihan easily dispatches of Gilberti in 4 minutes. With an assault driver, 32 rating, not bad. Callahan's 55, Gilberti 27. Then after the match, Callahan gets exactly what he asks for. He gets that Rob Van Dam. He gets the Rob Van Dam from ECW, who comes down and steel chair and gives Sami Callihan an extreme beatdown, leaving in wake of their hardcore match at Bound for Glory. 58 rated segment. I think their match actually could be really good. RVD is, the man around here, I guess. He's the most over in the company. I have no intentions really of giving him a title feud, I don't think. I think he's out of that point for me. But, still a fantastic guy to have around written wise. 33, not as good. We see Kylie Ray backstage. She sort of summarizes her month, or 2 months I think it's been, where Tina Dashwood came back and was very nice to her and congratulated her on a lot of her wins. And of course, Kelly was naive and she fell for it. This new Tennille Dashwood. And even though her friend says she saw through it, she struggled too and paid the price for it. And now she wants Tennille Dashwood at Bound for Glory, which we will find out, that night, I guess, if they will have their match. Because there is no Tina Dashwood reply tonight. 33 rated segment. I feel like that's good for Kylie Ray. I'm not sure. I don't think we do a lot of Kylie Ray solo speaking segments, so I don't really have much to compare to. Then 50 rated segment. Pretty good. Maybe should have been higher up in the card actually, but I needed it here sort of. Ethan Page gets the roll up victory after a spinning facebuster where he pins Chris Sabin. Maybe even Josh Alexander holds his feet on the ropes. This is the classic, I have a multi-man tag team match coming up at the pay-per-view. I need to just fire all the guys in the ring at once. So, it gets the job done, and this kind of match would hype you up for the tag team match. Sabin at 49, Doc Gallows also 49. Ace Austin was the best in the match by a little bit at a 51, and Ethan Page got a 47. Again, Ace Austin benefits from a hot new move. And yeah, so it's looking like the pay-per-view will have a great tag team match on it. I don't know. I don't think it'll open the show. It might fall somewhere in the middle, unfortunately. Because I think we'll open with the X Division stuff. But we'll find out at Bound for Glory, I guess. Then we have, after the match, Ethan Page and Josh Alexander celebrate over the top, yelling about how exact same thing is going to happen Sunday. They will be tag team champions. And just, different camera shots of the other tag teams just looking disappointed, a bit bewildered, maybe a bit angry as well. 40 rating, not bad. Then we have, this is kind of a similar segment to what they done before. where Impact had Willie Mack against Chris Bay, and they had Swinger and Bay looking for tag team partners backstage. See, we didn't have that segment at the time, but we have it this time, where, you know, Bay and Swinger are going through like a series of different members of Impact roster, suggesting that they, you know, team with them. They try Moose first, who has no interest. He even reminds him he's got a match tonight where he faces Eddie Edwards in our main event. Hernandez and Daggett don't want anything to do with him. Say they're slimy, something like that. Maybe even Hernandez says something about the only time they'll ever see Chris Bay in a ring is whenever Daggett is going for that title. Brian Myers, undefeated in Impact Wrestling, originally agrees. Then he realizes he's not teaming with just Chris Bay, he's also teaming with Johnny Swinger. So he calls the deal off. He could team with Chris Bay, Impact X Division champion, but he could not team with Johnny Swinger. They even tried Jenna Porrazzo, of course, who, again, wants nothing to do with Johnny Swinger. Chris Bay, you know, hot property on the Impact talent market. Not quite Johnny Swinger. And then, of course, they end up having to settle, much like in real life, with the Heat Raju. 34 rating for this segment. I think it went okay. But again, just a wee entertaining segment to sort of develop Chris Bay and show off the rest of the Impact locker room and what they think of him and Johnny Swinger. 37, Alicia Edwards is defeated by Gianna Porrazzo in 7 minutes 55 with a Fujiwara armbar. Edwards 26, Porrazzo 38. And then in the post segment, after the bell rings, Gianna Porrazzo refuses to let go of the arm of Alicia Edwards and clenches in the Fujiwara armbar, holds and holds until Jordan Grace's music hits, and she holds right until Jordan Grace gets in the ring, and then two of them brawl until Gianna Porrazzo gets out of the ring and starts, you know, yelling things like "That's going to be her," "That's going to be Jordan Grace." She's in Jordan Grace's head, referencing, of course, to the fact that, you know, Alicia Edwards is maybe even injured with how long the Fujiwara armbar was in, and that will be Jordan Grace after Bound for Glory. 43 rated segment, again, good for the knockouts, I think, anyway. Then we have a different kind of contract signing. Well, it's a classic contract signing. Don Callis with Eric Young and Rich Swann. Rich Swann accompanied by William Mack, of course. They've made up from last week's match they had. Well, of course, Swann lost the Pick Your Poison match, so EY gets to pick the poison. And he debates, and I debated it as well. But he doesn't go for some outlandish hardcore match. He simply says that if Rich Swann wants their match at Bound for Glory, he will have to come out and fight Eric Young with one hand tied behind his back for the entire match. Which is, of course, ludicrous there. You know, how can you fight a man with, you know, a hand tied behind your back? How will it not make it so much more difficult? And of course, you know, Don Callis and Willie Mack being other baby faces are like, Swann, you know, you can't do this. You can't do that. It would be ridiculous, but of course Rich Swann in the end signs. And I did debate, like, to give him, you know, make them do it in, like, Lethal Lockdown, make them do it in, like, an I Quit match, Last Man Standing, some kind of big hardcore match, and really play on Eric Young's, like, psycho tendencies. But I thought, why not, like, go this route, and then you'll see as the storyline develops that it will make sense in the end, sort of thing. And of course, EY, you know, he's trying to play smart. You know, he doesn't think Rich Swann will sign this kind of a deal, but of course Rich does. And Eric Young, he doesn't even touch him. He doesn't want to put or to attack Swann. He actually gets up after the contract's been signed. He goes to leave, but then Swann, right when you think it's not going to be that kind of contract signing, Swann dives over the table. The two brawl, but Willie Mack pulls Swann off of Eric Young, as Eric Young is allowed to leave then after that. 47 for our 6-man tag team match. Swinger struggles to keep up as Trey gets the big win, pinning Swinger with a Yoshi Tonic in 12 minutes. 43 for Wentz and Dez. 50 for Trey, the best in the match. Rahit 40, Bay 46, and 26 for Johnny Swinger. So of course Trey gets the pin in this match. You know, it's the big win he needs before the X Division title match, I think, especially seeing we did miss the feud last week. And then after the match, we have a Trey Bay stare down, where, you know, two of Impact's, in my opinion, hottest young talents to get onto the show. They stare down as anticipating builds for what will probably be the opener. I think the X Division works well as an opener for big pay-per-views, so hopefully you guys are looking forward to that match. Then we have Eddie Edwards being interviewed for his match with Moose by Madison Rain. Moose is off screen, by the way, but while he's being interviewed, answering some generic questions about how he feels about Bound for Glory, EC3 interrupts and he says, "I hope you think you can actually take Moose tonight, because every other time since I've returned that you and Moose have stepped in a ring, Moose has laid you on your ass, and maybe this time I will be there to save you," referencing, of course, the fact that whenever Moose has attacked Eddie, or in fact recently when he's attacked EC3, you know, EC3's been there to save Eddie, and it hasn't. You know, the two of them came out of this way. He's saying maybe, just maybe, if Moose lays you out after the match, being this close to Bound for Glory, I won't come down there and save you. I'll just let him put you out. And Eddie says he doesn't need anybody to watch his back. He doesn't want friends in Impact. These people he respects. Impact's his show. But he's done the whole friends thing with plenty of guys on this roster, current and past. He knows it's just business around here. 57's a great rating, I think. And this should be a great match whenever it gets going at Bound for Glory. And a 58, a great match actually between Moose and Eddie Edwards. They have great chemistry. Edwards a 58, Moose a 48. As Moose defeats your Impact World Heavyweight Champion Eddie Edwards in 16:27 with a game breaker. No cheating, just Moose is in form. I think we needed to give Moose this win. I don't think Eddie's lost, but Moose has lost quite a bit, and very recently at EC3. So we need to make Moose look legit going into this world title match, especially with a big win over Eddie Edwards. Then our final segment to close the show, Moose is standing tall over Eddie Edwards, and then bang, EC3 hits Moose with his finisher, the 1%er, I think that's what it's called. I don't know what he calls it in Impact, but he hits him with his big finish, and EC3 stands tall over both your Impact World Heavyweight Champion. He maybe even lifts the belt, holds it above his head, and of course he stands over Moose as well. So he's holding the belt as the show fades to black. And this episode, Swinger being used too much. Got a 55. I think that's really good. I think that might be one of our best. And I'm actually pretty impressed with the show. Judging by the fact that Moose and Eddie Edwards got a 58, I'm thinking we could get a decent 60-something rating when you add EC3 in there. I think the tag team Fatal 4-Way could be really good as well, but I'm actually quite looking forward to Bound for Glory now. Hopefully it can deliver on the hype. And, you know, this was originally meant to be something that I built on Impact's hype, and that they created at Slammiversary, and built something not too far away from what they're kind of going for. But I think we are kind of going different routes at the minute, me and Impact. And of course, Kylie Ray has unfortunately stepped away from pro wrestling, and they've made a couple of signings, Impact, some which will join the save, some which will not. And of course, you know, the Rascals are leaving in real life, and hopefully they don't leave in this save, because I have big things planned for all of them. And of course, big things planned for Kylie Ray. And there's been rumors of Ty Valkyrie and Ethan Page and people like that leaving, and I don't, you know, I think that we're actually going to end up with a very different save to what real Impact will look like. Maybe a save where if Impact capitalized on the hype that they originally had post Slammiversary, what would have happened. So maybe we'll find out. I think Bound for Glory should and will be a very good show, and I hope you guys check it out. Also, thank you guys for all the support and the views on the videos in the last since we started doing this, and of course, thank you for all the likes, comments, and subscriptions. It means a lot. Cheers.